In the shadowy realms of modern warfare, one weapon loomed larger than life: a stealth missile designed to strike fear, evading defenses and delivering destruction with relentless precision. This was Russia's Kh-69 missile, fired from the sleek, formidable Su-57 fighter jet. For Vladimir Putin, it was supposed to be a game-changer, a weapon that could unleash chaos upon Ukraine's cities. But what happened when a $25,000 rocket transformed this titan of destruction into a flaming wreck? On October 11, the unthinkable occurred. Ukraine showcased a stunning display of ingenuity and courage by successfully intercepting one of Russia's stealthiest missiles, a feat magnified by the fact that the weapon they used was never designed to take down missiles. Utilizing an APKWS interceptor, Ukraine not only shattered the missile mid-flight but did so at an astonishing cost advantage. Each Kh-69 was built at a staggering price of $500,000, while the interceptor that brought it down cost a mere $25,000. The odds had turned sharply in Ukraine's favor, 20-1 in their triumph. As footage of this jaw-dropping incident spread like wildfire, debunking any Russian attempts to dismiss the event, the reality was brutally clear: a high-tech adversary had been toppled by cutting-edge yet affordable technology. Viewers could witness the Kh-69 racing through the sky, its lethal potential gleaming, only to be lit up as the APKWS locked on with its laser guidance. The shot was fired, igniting a chain of explosive chaos, scattering pieces of a once-feared missile down to the earth. This wasn't just a victory, it was a humiliation for Russian military pride. But there was something deeper at play, a psychological battle where the stakes were much harsher. While Russia could easily manufacture more drones, each Kh-69 represented a calculated investment in destruction, one that could spell disaster for not just infrastructure but innocent lives. Imagine the panic in the Kremlin as they realized that these advanced missiles could be brought down by such relatively inexpensive weaponry. Each intercepted missile was more than a win on the battlefield, it signaled a weakening grip on power and control. Reports from United 24 Media revealed that the APKWS had been in use since 2023, a low-cost hero in a fight that many believed could only be waged with high-priced munitions. What made this victory even more incredible was the implication that Ukraine's military was mastering a system intended for smaller threats and using it to tackle larger ones, turning the tables in a technical dance of warfare. And if the success rate continues at this staggering pace, what does that mean for the future of aerial combat? Could the balance of power tip further in Ukraine's favor if they can consistently rely on affordable solutions to dismantle some of Russia's most potent weaponry? As the echoes of October 10 fade into history, one thing stands evident: in this battle, innovation is proving to be the most powerful weapon of all. Ukraine pulled off a remarkable feat during a night when Russia unleashed a barrage of aerial strikes. The dramatic moment unfolded, showcasing a clash of technology that took many by surprise. Russia, in its aerial onslaught, launched a wave of drones and missiles aimed at crippling Ukrainian infrastructure. However, the unexpected happened: a Ukrainian interceptor dismantled one of Russia's prized missiles mid-flight, turning the tide of the encounter. In the footage released by Ukraine's Air Command East, the clear image of a Kh-69 missile slicing through the night sky is striking. The APKWS system locked onto its target with laser precision. Viewers were treated to the sight of the laser guiding the rocket, a sweet promise of destruction that filled the air with tension. Just as the Kh-69 prepared to engage its defenses, the moment of truth arrived: the Ukrainian rocket was unleashed. With an explosive impact, the $25,000 intercept shattered the $500,000 missile into fragments, creating a spectacle of triumph amid chaos. This stunning display quickly captured the attention of open-source intelligence platform OSINT Technical. They described the footage as evidence of Ukraine's innovative strategies against advanced threats. The successful use of a low-cost APKWS rocket against a superior weapon not only highlights Ukraine's prowess but also underscores the depth of their resources. Putin's frustration was palpable: his expensive missile program faced a shocking setback. It's crucial to understand the implications of this event. While Russia can endlessly produce drones, each Kh-69 missile signifies a significant investment in destruction, one that now seems vulnerable. If Ukraine continues to intercept such high-cost missiles at a fraction of the price, the equation shifts dramatically, presenting a troubling forecast for Russian military ambitions. The APKWS system that achieved this victory showcases versatility in combat, proving its capability even against high-tier threats. It is a tool initially designed for anti-drone operations but is now being used to counter elite missile designs. Unlike the one-shot nature of the KH-69, which was designed to launch and destroy, the Brawler systems in use can be recycled, bouncing back to combat-ready status after each engagement. With tension in the air and stakes rising, the conflict has produced a landscape where improvisation and technology converge. Each encounter carries the potential for unforeseen outcomes, leaving the world to wonder what tactical surprise awaits around the corner. Imagine the shock rippling through the Kremlin. Ukraine's defenders had just obliterated a $500,000 menace, using a weapon meant for disposable threats. Revolutionary technology from the West turned a humble rocket into a deadly hunter. Ukraine repeated this victory under the cover of darkness, when Russia unleashed hell from above. How disastrous could the night get? The air screamed with engines. Explosions shattered the silence, shaking the ground like an earthquake. Acrid smoke stung the eyes, while the heat from flames licked at fleeing civilians. Yet, beneath the chaos, a glimmer of hope emerged. Ukraine's cheap laser-guided marvel intercepted a stealthy killer, preventing untold devastation. During another savage Russian aerial barrage, on October 10, hordes of drones and missiles rained down. Ballistic killers and guided ghosts targeted Ukraine's lifeblood energy grids vital for survival. Did they succeed in plunging cities into darkness? Partially, yes. Vital infrastructure crumpled under the onslaught, sparks flying as power lines snapped. Homes bled from shrapnel wounds, fires crackling violently in the ruins. Key neighborhoods like Pachersky district felt the brunt, where drone fragments pierced buildings, igniting raging blazes that devoured wood and flesh alike. The taste of fear lingered in the air, mingled with charred remains. Podolsky and Desnyansky districts weren't spared, as Shahed drone scraps rained near open fields and medical havens, endangering lives with every shard. Zaporizhia's defenses trembled during the witching hour assault. Repeated impacts hammered infrastructure, the relentless thuds echoing like war drums. Tragically, a 7-year-old boy's light was extinguished, his tiny hands still warm in the debris. In Kiev, the capital, at least 12 souls were wounded, 8 rushed to hospitals amid cries of pain. The acrid scent of smoke filled nostrils, skin clammy from terror's grip. Russia inflicted brutal scars that night. But what if they had unleashed their full fury? The damage could have been catastrophic. Ukraine stood firm, denying them the kill with a surprising twist, a low-cost laser-guided rocket downing a KH-69. This triumph shifts our gaze to the hero and villain of this showdown. Ukraine's secret weapon shines first, the APKWS, a marvel from BAE Systems, a titan of aerospace innovation rooted in the United Kingdom. But it's a U.S. Department of Defense gem, adapted far beyond its creator's wildest dreams by Ukraine's ingenuity. Not just a savage tool of war, it's a conversion wonder, transforming a basic 70mm Hydra rocket into a precision predator. A laser seeker clamps on, using semi-active laser guidance, known as SAL, to lock onto targets with unyielding precision. Why does this outsmart Russia's Phantoms? The guidance turns chaos into lethal accuracy, slicing through the night like a scalpel. Ukraine wielded it since 2023, countering drones with finesse. Picture the thrill of launch, the whoosh of the rocket, vivid in the operator's mind as it chases its prey. Yet, here it hunted something far more elusive, a stealth missile slipping through defenses. How could such a slim kit hold such power? Measuring just 18.5 inches, the Seeker adds elegance to the almost 74-inch beast, weighing 32 pounds total, with 10 to 11 pounds for that guiding brain. It rockets to 1 kilometer per second, over 2,000 miles per hour, near Mach 3, outpacing Revenge. The warhead packs a 10-pound punch from its Hydra heritage, explosive force ready to shatter. BAE boasts over 10 years of combat-proof glory, minimizing destruction while maximizing hits. It bridges the divide between crude rockets and elite munitions, shared across U.S. forces, Navy, Marines, Army, and Air Force. Ukraine's supply fuels their edge, proving relentless in soft and armored targets. Against the KH-69, it meant a clean, pinpoint vaporization, scraps tumbling harmlessly. Is this outclassing Russia's glide bomb horrors? Absolutely. Those barbaric kits wing Soviet bombs into guided nightmares, but the APKWS eclipses them in finesse. Not some relic, it's a modern genius, drone slayer turned missile buster. But the KH-69 begs scrutiny. Unveiled in 2009 as the KH-59 Mk2, redesigned in 2015 for stealth supremacy. What secrets hide in its design, poised to escalate the stakes? In a world where aerial combat technology reigns supreme, a remarkable twist emerged from the heart of conflict. A transformation in warfare came from a surprise source, an unassuming conversion kit. The APKWS, or the Advanced Precision Kill Weapon System, isn't a standalone missile, it's an ingenious modification that takes a standard 70mm Hydro rocket and turns it into a precision-guided tool of destruction. With a laser seeker, this rocket can hit its mark with astonishing accuracy, making it a formidable asset on the battlefield. Since 2023, Ukraine has wielded this technology with surprising prowess, countering the formidable Russian KH-69 missile. Just imagine the audacity, a weapon typically used against drones now being repurposed to bring down one of the most advanced missiles ever created. The APKWS converts your standard munitions into something far deadlier. While Russia has relied on converting ordinary bombs and older models into glide weapons, the APKWS takes precision to a new level. Digging deeper, the APKWS system features an 18.5-inch guidance mechanism, which, once added, extends the overall length to nearly 74 inches. Weighing in at about 32 pounds, this rocket achieves incredible speeds of 1 km per second, about 2,236 miles per hour, nearly reaching Mach 3. How can something costing only $25,000 bring down a missile valued at around $500,000? It's a shocking revelation of strategic ingenuity that could turn the tide of warfare. This technology isn't exclusive to Ukraine. The program, rooted in U.S. Department of Defense innovation and honed by BAE Systems in the UK, raises questions about global defense dynamics. With such effective tools at their disposal, how will both sides of the conflict adapt? The tale of the APKWS is a stark reminder: in the realm of high-stakes warfare, the right technology can reshape expectations and escalate conflict in unexpected ways. As Ukraine displays that an inexpensive rocket can topple a high-tech missile with ease, the implications for future engagements are immense. Will they continue to leverage this technology, or will Russia adapt? How will the balance of power sway as nations realize that innovation often trumps brute force? The race for supremacy is on, and it's just heating up. Imagine Ukraine's warriors, staring into the night sky, as Putin's deadly machines rain down terror on their homes. Debris crashing, fires roaring, the acrid smoke choking the air, a grim reminder of Russia's onslaught on October 10. But with a clever twist from Ukrainian ingenuity, they turned the tide using cheap, precise tech. Now, let's delve deeper into the APKWS rocket that shattered Putin's $500,000 nightmare, the KH-69. What if a weapon meant for humble drones could humiliate Russia's top stealth killer? Picture this shocking feat: a laser-guided rocket exploding a supersonic missile into twisted metal, all for a bargain price. Can you feel the rush? The whir of engines, the beep of targeting, the earth-shaking boom as victory erupts. As we pull back the curtain, recall how Ukraine secured these game-changing kits. Naval Air Systems command data confirms the tool's prowess. Suddenly, a flashback surges, a memory from 2023, the first APKWS launch against buzzing drones. The soldier's hands grip the launcher, rough metal cool under sweaty palms. Engines hum low, exhaust reeks of burnt fuel, wind whipping faces as the rocket streaks off. Success tasted sweet, like adrenaline-fueled hope. But this time, it was no drone, it was far deadlier. United 24 Media highlights the system's track record. BAE Systems boasts over 10 years of combat proof on its pages. Its core strength? Pinpoint hits that minimize fallout. For the KH-69, that meant obliterating at mid-flight, with only falling wreckage causing harm, a smart blow avoiding wider devastation. BAE Systems explains it bridges unguided rockets and heavy anti-armor munitions. Common across U.S. forces, Navy, Marine Corps, Army, Air Force. It delivers unmatched accuracy, lethal against soft or armored foes, at a fraction of the cost. This gap-filling genius is why Ukraine conquered. A basic rocket couldn't touch a Kh-69 without dumb luck, a one-in-a-million strike. But APKWS? Precision incarnate. Ukraine has scant supplies of BAES big brothers. The Patriot system stands out, US-made and mighty. Yet, swapping costly missiles for $25,000 wonders? It frees up defenses for Russia's fiercer horrors from that October raid: drones, ballistic beasts wrecking power grids and lives. APKWS isn't outdated, it's brilliant. Ukraine's wielded it masterfully since 2023, against drones and fixed targets. But this, tearing apart Russia's elite weapon? Unprecedented. Impressive beyond words. To grasp the shock, uncover the Kh-69 specs. Minutani reports basics. Unveiled in 2009 is Kh-59 Mk2. And just when you think Ukraine's edge is simple, wait, what hidden Russian tech counters this? Will Putin unveil a twist that flips the script? Stella, the favor the air thick with tension as desperation mounts. What dark depths lurk in the shadows? In a stunning twist of fate, a seemingly unstoppable weapon of war fell victim to a far cheaper rival. A missile, designed for stealth operations and believed to be one of Russia's deadliest. Imagine, just days before, this missile was poised to wreak havoc on Ukraine's cities, but it was a different story when one was shot down in a dramatic confrontation. On that fateful day, the skies were filled with tension and anticipation as Russia unleashed a flurry of aerial assaults, making its intentions clear: to devastate Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukraine had secretly prepared its own arrow, sharpened and ready to strike back against the invader. Reports surfaced on October 11 about Ukraine's astonishing triumph: the destruction of a Kh-69 missile, which is designed to fly under the radar, using a low-cost APKWS interceptor. The audacity! It seems impossible. How could a less expensive technology challenge such a sophisticated weapon? The APKWS, a laser-guided rocket that is traditionally used to tackle drones, turned out to be surprisingly effective against one of Russia's most formidable missiles. With the Kh-69 costing an eye-watering $500,000, Ukraine's $25,000 rocket achieved an astonishing 20-to-1 return, a staggering victory that echoed through the war-torn air. Analysts marveled at the audacity of this strike, and shock rippled through military circles when footage of the moment emerged: a small, flickering laser darting across the night sky, locking onto its target before detonating in a furious explosion. At the heart of the Kh-69 is a robust design. Born from Russian ingenuity and unveiled back in 2009. Originally dubbed the Kh-59-2 Malawian Quachas, it received a significant overhaul in 2015, reinforcing its stealth capabilities and integrating advanced radar-evading materials. This missile was no ordinary projectile. It was fine-tuned to evade detection, intended to wreak havoc, and to eliminate its targets with brutal efficiency, its warhead packing 683 pounds of destructive force. Despite its impressive specs, it proved to be far slower than its unintended adversary, traveling at a mere 622 miles per hour while the APKWS soared at a staggering speed of nearly a kilometer per second. Its potential to wreak havoc on civilian areas only added to the urgency of the situation. A single successful strike from the Kh-69 could mean catastrophic consequences for Ukrainian cities, leading to immeasurable suffering. The stakes were high, the tension palpable, and as the two opposing designs clashed, the outcome revealed that even the mightiest can fall to an unforeseen challenger. Ukraine used the APKWS, a system also born from Western collaboration, to turn the tide against a high-tech adversary, highlighting the unpredictable nature of warfare and the readiness of a nation to defend its sovereignty. In a shocking turn of events, a missile designed to be Russia's crown jewel of stealth warfare has been brought down by an unlikely hero. Imagine a weapon crafted with advanced radar-evading technology, boasting the ability to float unnoticed among swarms of drones, only to meet its end at the hands of a humble $25,000 rocket. This is the jaw-dropping tale of Ukraine's audacious triumph against a Kh-69 missile, a weapon shrouded in secrecy and pride, and the twist that has left Russian leadership seething with rage. The Kh-69 missile was touted as a marvel of engineering, crafted from materials that absorb radar waves. This stealthy predator was intended to slip through the cracks of Western air defenses undetected. As Russia unleashed its barrage of missiles in a desperate nighttime strike on October 10, it was hoped that the Kh-69 could blend seamlessly with the overwhelming number of drones, making it nearly invisible to defenders. But there's a gripping twist: what if that very stealthiness was its undoing? As the chaos unfolded in the Ukrainian skies, a laser-guided APKWS rocket, typically used against slow-moving drones, locked onto the Kh-69. Could it be that to the targeting system, the missile appeared eerily similar to a drone? The answer came swiftly, as the Ukrainian rocket homed in on its prey, igniting a firestorm that shattered the stealth missile into a million pieces. With shockwaves that extended far beyond the blast, this moment confirmed that Russia's claims of invincibility were not just overhyped, they were tragically miscalculated. The humiliation for Vladimir Putin was palpable. After all, here was a missile that was supposed to strike fear in the hearts of enemies. Instead, it was reduced to a burning wreck, thanks to a weapon that ultimately cost a fraction of what the Kh-69 was worth. With each report on the event buzzing through international media, the reality set in for the Russian leadership: their prized stealth weapon had been taken down not by advanced systems, but by sheer audacity and innovation. Yet, this wasn't an isolated incident. Just weeks prior, Ukraine had delivered another crushing blow to Russia's military prestige, taking out a different advanced missile with an outdated machine gun and a mere $11 in ammunition. The implications of these victories are stark. If Ukraine's defenders can find creative solutions to neutralize such high-value threats, what does that say about the future of air warfare? As the dust settles from these aerial confrontations, it begs the question: how long can Russia maintain a facade of technological supremacy when each falling missile tells a story of overconfidence and miscalculation? The answer looms large, and the stakes couldn't be higher for both sides in this ongoing saga. In Russia's egg on its collective face over its advanced stealth missile, it's not even the first time in the last couple of weeks. As impressive as destroying a Kh-69 with an APKWS was, that feat pales compared to Ukraine's strike on September 19. Ukraine has also downed a Kh-69 using a World War I-era machine gun and just $11 worth of ammo. Discover more in our video on that event, but the core message shines through. Russia's most touted stealth missile isn't as invincible as Vladimir Putin claims. Even if it evades detection well, it's embarrassing for Russia that systems never meant to counter a Kh-69 are succeeding. The burning question: what does this spell for Ukraine's future defenses against Russia's Kh-69? Shooting down one stealth missile with a $25,000 rocket is remarkable, yet it can't become routine. It's reassuring that a cheap rocket can obliterate a $500,000 missile, provided spotters on the ground catch the Russian projectile in flight. But that's far from certain, so Ukraine won't swap its heavy air defenses for APKWS anytime soon. Still, every trick in the arsenal means more shields against Russia's unrelenting swarm. Ukraine needs every edge, as Russia's missile and drone onslaught escalates fiercely in 2025. The week before this Kh-69 takedown was brutal for Ukraine. Beyond the October 10 strike we covered, Russia unleashed thousands of aerial hells on Ukraine in early October. According to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, quoted by Al Jazeera, Russia fired over 3,100 drones, 92 missiles, and around 1,360 glide bombs. That's 4,500 projectiles in 1 week alone. The air hummed with the buzz of drones, the roar of missiles piercing the night sky, the acrid stench of explosives tainting the crisp autumn air, and the tremble of impacts shaking the ground like an unchained fury. Anything Ukraine can deploy to neutralize those devastating forces is a lifeline. As Defense Blog echoes, these systems are crucial assets in the shadow war. Imagine the scene: Russia's elite missile, shrouded in stealth, plummeting from the skies, its sleek form, designed for silent terror, now a shattered ruin on the battlefield. Ukraine's defenders felt the rush of victory, the cool metal of ancient weapons in their hands, the distant echo of gunfire still ringing. But will this cheap ingenuity humiliate Putin further, or does Russia hold darker twists in store? Stay tuned to uncover if Ukraine's stratagems can truly turn the tide. In a breathtaking turn of events, a stealth missile that was supposed to be one of Russia's most formidable weapons has been sent crashing to the ground by Ukraine. This is not just a tale of military strategy, it's a story of resilience and ingenuity against overwhelming odds. Picture this, a missile initially believed to be nearly unstoppable, and yet, it was taken down by a weapon that costs a mere fraction of its worth. How did this happen? On October 11, reports emerged detailing how Ukraine successfully intercepted a Kh-69 missile, a weapon that Russia counts among its elite arsenal, using an APKWS rocket costing $25,000. This missile, touted to wreak havoc on Ukrainian cities, became a flaming wreck thanks to a weapon never initially intended for such a purpose. When Ukraine's forces executed this remarkable feat, the Russian military was left reeling. Just imagine the fury that must have coursed through the Kremlin. What does it mean to lose such an expensive missile, valued at $500,000, to a system worth only $25,000? The video footage of this momentous event went viral, shared widely by Ukraine's Air Command East. In it, you see the Kh-69 missile soaring through the sky, oblivious to the lethal APKWS locking onto it with precision. Observant viewers noted a clear laser pointer flashing on the missile, marking its doom. As the trigger is pulled, the explosion is instantaneous, a stark reminder of vulnerability nestled within perceived strength. This incredible interception took place amidst one of Russia's relentless aerial assaults, where over 4,500 projectiles were launched within a week. The Kremlin aimed to dismantle Ukrainian energy infrastructure, causing real destruction. Yet somehow, they missed out on anticipating a retaliation that would shatter their claims to invincibility. The true shocker is this: the APKWS isn't just a lucky break for Ukraine, it's a symbol of Western technology's adaptability and effectiveness in the face of localized threats. The Ukrainian forces might have discovered a new tactic by leveraging an anti-drone weapon to combat high-end threats effectively. Could this open the floodgates for more Ukrainian missiles to take on the likes of the Kh-69? Only time will tell. Moreover, the implications of this defeat are profound. Russia doesn't merely want to use the Kh-69 against Ukraine, it's attempting to sell it to other nations, including India. As ties between India and Russia wane, this missile was part of an effort to rekindle that relationship. Yet, can anyone seriously consider arming themselves with a missile that can be taken down so easily? This leaves one haunting question: will the reputation of Russian weaponry suffer irreparable damage as a result of such failings? The world watches intently. As military strategies evolve, so too does the technology that fuels them. With every missile intercepted, the balance of power shifts, and Ukraine has made its intentions clear: it will not back down in the face of aggression. The question lingers: what will be Russia's next move when even their most advanced weapons become obsolete against cheaper innovations? The tides of war are unpredictable. What comes next will redefine the battlefield yet again. But will India dare to gamble on a so-called stealth missile now that it's been shredded by a mere $25,000 rocket? Picture the deafening roar of engines fading into a smoky haze as fate's cruel twist unfolds. Feel the gritty dust clinging to sweat-drenched skin in the dim light of uncertainty. Earlier, we uncovered how India's heavy reliance on Russian arms has plummeted from 76% in 2009 to a mere 36% by 2023. Russia pinned its hopes on selling Kh-69 missiles to India, hoping to revive fading ties and arm the Indian Air Force's Su-30 fighters with these elusive weapons. Now, rewind that decline to the morning of October 10, when Ukraine braced for oblivion under Russia's thunderous barrage of over 3,100 drones, 92 missiles, and 1,360 glide bombs. A staggering 4,500 projectiles rained down, targeting energy plants and homes. The acrid stench of burning fuel filled the air. Sirens wailed like banshees, piercing hearts as flames licked at shattered buildings in Kiev's districts. Parental cries echoed as a 7-year-old boy fell victim, his family's world crumbling under drone debris. 12 souls injured, hospitals overwhelmed by the chaos. Russia succeeded in plunging parts of Ukraine's capital into darkness, but it was far from total victory. Yet, in that maelstrom, Ukraine did what seemed impossible, intercepting a Kh-69 with an MQ-9-like precision rocket from a Brawler's surface-to-air system. The footage, raw and unfiltered from Ukraine's Air Command East, shows the Russian projectile hurtling close to its target, laser dot flickering like a predator's eye. Trigger pulled. Boom. A $25,000 APKWS obliterating $500,000 in stealth tech. Debris rains scattered, sizzling into the earth with a hiss, leaving only smoke and twisted metal. Russia, humiliated, can spin no tale to escape this. Their prized missile, costing them $500,000 apiece, lies in scrap, exposed to the world. Can they admit their vaunted weapon is vulnerable? Or will they rage in silence? And India, watching this spectacle, will they still chase Russia's sales pitch? Does it matter if the 500,000 figures as production cost only, with inevitable markups inflating the true price? To build a viable arsenal, they'd need dozens, risking exposure that a cheap counter could render them obsolete. Will India's leaders gamble on missiles that bleed out so easily? Perhaps not. Maybe they'll turn away, leaving Russia clutching at straws. Picture Putin's fury, veins bulging as he watches his global arms empire fracture. The war's toll has already battered Russia's industry, factories groaning under overexertion, supply lines fraying like old rope. This Kh-69 flop hurls salt into those wounds, making one of their so-called advanced munitions look as obsolete as yesterday's news. One less missile to obliterate a Ukrainian city means hope flickering brighter. Lives spared from the crunch of concrete and screams of alarm. But here's the jaw-dropping twist: Ukraine's defenders might pivot more APKWS from drone patrols, not just due to interceptor tech, but inspired by a ragtag Ukrainian inventor's genius. A homemade gadget conjures visions of battlefield revolution, rendering Russia's Shahed drones, those buzzing nuisances, as harmless as toy planes. Will this device unleash unforeseen chaos, turning the tide in ways Putin never foresaw? As the embers cool and the smoke clears, one question burns: is Russia's reign unraveling faster than they admit? What dark secrets will emerge next in this endless clash? The horizon trembles with anticipation.